So along with the 10th anniversary pre-stream giving us the reveals for the Part 1 Dokkan Festival and Carnival LRs, we actually also did see the summon schedule, which does confirm to us that there are going to be 4 total banners, 2 Dokkan festivals, and 2 separate top legendary summon carnivals. And today we're going to be talking about the Dokkan Festival banner in specific, which is of course headlined by the upcoming LR Super Vegito card. Now this character is going to be a Goku plus Vegeta, is a new kind of mechanic where they're able to reverse exchange, as they call it. I assume you'll be able to exchange back and forth like a tag unit in Legends, right? Which is really cool. Then eventually you will be able to fuse into Super Vegito. We don't know for sure if it's time limited 100% or not. We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, just in general, sounds like a really cool concept. And I think a lot of people will be interested to know what will his banner be. Now, usually we would have to wait for like a data download or something to get the good idea of what the banner will look like. However, for these anniversary banners, it's actually quite easy to predict what exactly we're going to be getting because they always follow a very specific set pattern of characters. 1 or 2 characters maybe could not follow the pattern, but it's a pretty good guess of what we could see here, and I think that at least most of this banner will be very accurate. Now, I think we'll just hop right into things and we'll use the 9th anniversary Dragon Ball Super Broly banner as an example, just because that was the Part 1 Dokkan Festival last year, and this year again it's gonna be a Dokkan Fest in Part 1 and a Dokkan Festival character in Part 2. So we'll be using the Part 1 character to match with this year's Part 1, right? There's also going to be a banner unit as well, right? Last year we saw the Golden Frieza character. We don't know what the banner unit is going to be, but we'll be talking about it just, I guess, right now again. Of course, in terms of Super Vegito himself and, you know, how good he is, I'm going to assume just that this guy's going to be at least a top 5 level character in the game. I'm not going to say for sure like top 3, but I think for sure he will be at bare minimum a top 5 level character in the game by the end of the anniversary, which really cool. I could definitely see this guy being just extremely powerful. Now, if we go ahead and talk about, hey, what banner unit could this guy get in terms of the celebration? I think we can go ahead and talk about maybe a Candy Vegito. I think would be really interesting. And, you know, maybe it could be a Supreme Kai card. I feel like this slot is, of course, just going to be a new character slot, which will be very nice. Hopefully the banner unit is good. Last year we got the Golden Frieza card that I talked about earlier, and on release that Golden Frieza was really good. We also got the Krillin and 18 in Part 2, another very good banner unit. However, the year before we had the Gotenks and Piccolo, and then we had the Nova and Shenron, or Nova and Shenron, Nova and Ice Shenron. Those characters aren't good. So at least on release especially, they were not good either. I hope that whatever the banner unit here will be good. This is something that's a little more, you know, could be good, could be bad, right? But I still think that, you know, a Candy Vegeta will be really cool because we only have one version of this card, and getting a new Vegeta with this guy did actually link pretty decently well. Would be just a nice way to give us another character that won't usually get another card for probably a very, very, very long time. Now, we get into one of the characters that people will be very excited to see. That's going to be the Super Saiyan Goku, Gohan, and Trunks that came out during the worldwide celebration. And again, how usually this Part 1 banner does work is we either see the Part 1 of the like Dokkan Fest X Carnival format characters, or we see the B side of the dual Dokkan Fest kind of schedule that goes on there in certain celebrations. It really does depend. So it's a little mixed up here, but of course, I think this character appearing is actually really good. I do not think that these guys will be like aged out by the time anniversary comes out, and I could see them being a very powerful option. I mean, they do lead the Super Saiyans team. The Goku and Vegeta will actually fit the Super Saiyans team, and they should actually also fit All Out Struggle. Let me double check here. Is the STR Goku and Vegeta on that team? They're not the STR Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito, But I mean, maybe they could just be like, yeah, we're gonna throw them on the team, even if they aren't, which would kind of suck for these guys getting their, of course, full passive on that setup. This character is still just gonna be the first time he returns, right? I think overall this will still be a very nice character to go ahead and get, even with red coins. But you may just very well summon him on the banner. So overall, big fan of this guy. I think that this is definitely a W addition for the banner. Now, of course, as we go into the next slot, we should also see the 9th anniversary LR to return the AGL Super Saiyan Broly. And again, to kind of match this up here, we are able to see the banner unit here, the anniversary unit, which would be, you know, let's say Candy Vegito, Super Vegito, the previous Worldwide Celebration Part 1 character, which would be the Super Saiyan Trio. Then right here, we see the anniversary character from last year. And again, since these were both dual Dokkan Fest formats, it is the B version of the character. But as we see, if it's a Dokkan Fest X Carnival format, like right with Cooler being featured here, a lot of times it is actually going to end up being the Part 1 Dokkan Fest. Again, that could change. Maybe it could be the reverse, like maybe this spot will be the Int Broly, but I'm thinking that they're going to go ahead and go with this specific format. And I would assume that they would put the Broly on this banner right here just because he is the Part 1 LR, and it just makes sense for him to return on this banner. Now, Broly, in terms of his base form, he's not really good anymore. When you get this Broly to transform, though, he is really, like, oppressive against a lot of these bosses even right now. I think the amount of damage this guy could do is really crazy, and his defenses are definitely not terrible. I'm not gonna say that this guy is the behemoth he once was, that's for sure, especially because his condition to transform is a little tough, right, in just certain situations, considering how, you know, he's just okay in his normal form compared to a lot of these more recent characters. But if you're a newer player, I mean, you'll take a lot of advantage with this guy. He has a really good leader skill. Just, you know, imagine a newer player getting access to this transformation boost team as a new leader would be actually really cool, especially as a Saiyan character. So overall, this Broly, I think, is just gonna still be a very viable option for your different teams. Then next we can move on to the Fusion Zamasu, which again we see Fusion Zamasu was on last year's banner. It should be the same thing where the previous Worldwide Celebration LR will actually also be featured there. This was the 2022 Worldwide Celebration. This was the 2023. So I mean, Tech Fusion Zamasu actually is not even bad right now. To be completely honest with you guys, like he starts off with 80% reduction, and he has a lot of multiplicative stats in his kit, big bad bosses, things like that. Again, he's not like anything crazy anymore, but in short content, this guy could actually provide you some utility for sure with the amount of damage reduction he gets. And he is an extreme class leader of key 3 and 150%. So again, especially if we're talking about being a new player, if you're able to get this character, you have an extreme class leader for all those, like all the different extreme class missions and things like that that you'll want to go ahead and try to get cleared just to farm those extra stones. I think this guy could be a brilliant, nice addition to your different, you know, setups for villains, especially because villains just will never have the same amount of options that super class character teams will have. So I think this guy actually, you know, again, he's not crazy, but I would not say he's bad either. So we can move on, of course, you know, beyond the Fusion Zamasu spot here. We see that there is another previous anniversary card here. So this was the Part 1, or the, I guess, the A banner here for the anniversary character. And we could actually bring out the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, because again, what I think they'll do is they'll push this guy out here, and then they'll just shift the year 7 LRs out of this banner specifically. And I would say I do actually think the year 7 LRs will be featured on the Part 2 banner for the Dokkan Fest. I'm also going to assume that is also coincidentally going to be a Gogeta card, which is really funny, but I think that the year 7 characters will be pushed out and the year 8 characters will take that spot that the year 7 is going to be in. Now, this is a character where, again, I think you could hide this character in difficult events, and if you're able to get this standby skill ability, this character is very tanky and could shoot a really decent hitting spirit bomb. But at this point, this is definitely like the worst character on the banner yet. This guy is not gonna be a very consistent character, I think, in a lot of times. And at this point, you know, they are very dedicated on just their defensive stacking and their normal defense stat without any damage reduction or anything like that. So I do think that this character does fall flat if you're not able to get like that standby ability. If you're a new player, again, from that aspect, I mean, you could definitely get use out of them, but definitely not one of the highlights, I would say, of this banner specifically. Not bad though. I mean, they're fun to use actually if you want to go ahead and use them on a Majin Buu Saga team. Like, I took them into Goku Frieza and I beat the Goku Frieza fight right now, which is the hardest fight in the game, with them on the Majin Buu Saga team. So you could definitely still use them if you really wanted to. You just will have to kind of play a little bit smart. Then this next slot was actually the Tanabata LR. It's like very varying with this spot. I feel like this spot, and then, you know, where this physical DBS Broly is, this is like kind of varying between the banners, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I do think that what will be here in this specific section will actually be the STR Super Vegito, the Goku and Vegeta Angel. This character has not been on a featured banner all the way since the year 8 anniversary, you know, banners. And, you know, this guy did get his EZA last year. I think that maybe they could put the Tech Super Gogeta fusion character on the part 2 banner with, you know, a new Gogeta that would come out, is what we're all really expecting for the Dokkan Fest. So with that in mind, I would say that it's a very likely possibility to go ahead and see like this character return. This character unfortunately did fall flat with the EZA. While not bad, they just are not really consistent or good, honestly. I mean, I'm not personally a fan of them. If you don't have them, it'll be cool to get them, but I guess in a very similar boat to this character a little bit, I would say this Goku and Vegeta Angel are better than the Dragon Ball Z duo here, right? The Spirit Bomb duo. But I think this guy just has a lot of issues with him just as a baseline with, you know, he has the HP condition here when attacking, the HP condition to actually fuse, and then even when he transforms, his counterattacks may not be able to damage certain bosses really well at all, just because a lot of these bosses now are getting these like little damage cuts where you have to do a certain amount of damage to even do anything to the boss, or else you will actually literally do 0 damage. This Vegito's counters, right? He has counterattacks, which is most of what the damage he does. Like in the Goku Frieza fight, does 0 damage. So, I mean, again, like, he's not like terrible, but I'm not really gonna say like this guy's like, oh, you know, yeah, STR Super Vegito, you are gonna destroy the entire game. Like, he's not gonna be carrying you across the entire game, especially if you consider like at a year 10 kind of power creep jump potentially with like a lot of these hard bosses. We'll see. Then next we actually have these two slots, which are the year 5 characters. So again, if they do that, then this will actually be the year 6 characters. I checked the part 2 banners as well for the Dokkan Fest. They actually had these two guys on the part 2 banners. So I'm thinking that, again, they'll just push it ahead a year. The year 5 characters on the part 1 banner will actually become the year 6 characters, which will be this UI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta. And then the year 7 characters will be in part 2 banners, right? If this is the case, I mean, AGL UI Goku being featured would make a lot of sense, considering that we do have the Blue Evolution Vegeta that's going to be coming out, and it looks like he will have a unit super attack or something among the lines with a Goku. It could be maybe just a tournament of Power Goku or any Goku, but this guy will be perfect to go ahead and pair with them. I think this Ultra Instinct Goku is going to age really well, and this guy is one of the best units in the game for sure. Like, this character is still very, very, very good, man. And my oh my, I think he'll be just getting even better after this anniversary, even with the new Blue Evolution Vegeta. I'm actually just so like glad how good this made this character. Again, Turn 1, he has that guaranteed dodge, so he's just dodging everything guaranteed. Then he has just really good chances to dodge just in general. 77%. I mean, you get 2 dodges with this guy, he's over a 90% chance to dodge pretty much. So, I mean, like at that point, this guy just like, it's very hard for him to get touched. He does some pretty nice damage. I'm not going to say anything crazy, but he definitely won't do nothing to the boss with his guaranteed crits. Active skill's pretty nice, right? I do like the active skill condition overall. I mean, this guy's just going to be useful in a lot of situations, and I feel like you may not have this character like again, like if you started off recently. I mean, if you summon on the Tech UI Goku banner, you may have some copies of this guy. But then if we go back, you know, Beast Gohan's banner, this guy was on, of course, with his EZA, and it's just really been anniversary banners and worldwide banners, which these are the banners to summon on 100%. But I could see some people maybe still needing some copies for this character potentially. And if that is the case, you know, you can get a lot of use out of this guy. Now, this blue evolution Vegeta is also still quite good. I would say, if anything, he's kind of fallen off the radar a little. And I think people could really show this guy a little more love, honestly, especially compared to UI. I think this guy is still actually quite nice. The only issue with this character is that we're getting a brand new Super Saiyan God SS Evolved Vegeta, literally this exact same name. That'll be one of the top legendary summon characters. I don't think that this means that this guy will become unusable though. I mean, again, he has the guard plus really high damage reduction. He does get his revival skill very easily. If he gets hit 5 times, well, I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing to get, but in terms of when you actually get the 5 hits, the revive is just at any HP level that you're at, and it just is a team protector ability where he saves the entire rotation. I think that is just going to be so useful. And you know, him and UI Goku actually both still have pretty actually good leader skills for even just 180% leader skills and EZAs, right? I think this Blue Evolution Vegeta is still also just a really, really nice option here. Now, last, they again had this DBS Broly here. I think that in comparison, it's probably going to be a random Dokkan Fest. Then I put 2 seconds of thought into it. AGL Super Vegito, bro. I think this guy's going to get a Super Extreme Z Awakening. And then we see AGL Super Vegito on the banner. And that makes perfect sense to me. This guy will think just like basically almost 1-to-1 with the brand new LR Super Vegito. I would assume the new LR Super Vegito, I mean, hopefully he just loses Golden Warrior and then gets Fierce Battle, but maybe the new Super Vegito does Kamehameha and then he loses Shocking Speed too. Not a big deal either way. They will share a bare minimum 5 links. Super Saiyan Prepared for Battle, Power Bestow by God, Fused Fighter, and then Fierce Battle. Like, those are links that this character, the new LR Super Vegeta, will 100% have. And even then, Super Saiyan Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, potentially Shocking Speed with the base form also works really well. And we'll see. I mean, what if they give this guy just Scouter? Like, he just has Scouter for free. I think that'd be awesome. That would be really, really cool. And yeah, this guy I think will likely be good if they, I mean, imagine they give him a Tech Beerus level Super EZA. That would be crazy. I mean, with the Scouter ability, he could potentially, like, it's not like a team protector mechanic, but being able to know where the super attack is could still be useful in many different situations. So I think that's what the banner is going to be. So again, if we just kind of count it down, I think it's going to be Super Vegeta will be a win. Banner unit, let's say the banner unit is good. That's 2 good units. 3 good units with the Worldwide Celebration LR. I'm going to say Broly is a good unit. Fusion Zamasu, I'm not going to count as good, but he's still a decent character. We have this character, which decent, another decent character, but I think UI Goku's good. Blue Evolution's good. And then we guess that this guy will be good. That's 8, or no, that's 7/8 out of 10, essentially. You know, and you could really say that all these characters you could find use for in the most difficult events in the game. So just a pretty stacked banner overall, and this guy will definitely be like one of the just absolute pinnacle, just like histories of Dokkan. But let me know what you guys are thinking. Maybe you think that there will be 1 or 2 differences in the banner. It could very easily be the case. I mean, they could be like, yeah, instead of Fusion Zamasu, we're gonna put AGL LR Vegito Blue here, which honestly I think would be a downgrade from this Fusion Zamasu. but it would also make sense considering it's a Vegito card, and they're just like, yeah, we'll just put the Vegito card on there. I don't think it really matters in that specific instance, and I think everything else will be the same though. So there it is. Again, appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.